I'm working in a factory, and in this factory, we're cleaning semiconductor components for the businesses around town.
I actually remember when you did this.
What?
I remember when you did this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you did this for a living a while back. Yeah.
And so it was like hot and sweaty. You know, the place was like real messed up, and be cleaning stuff with sulfuric acid, like baths and stuff. So I was doing this all day long, and the sounds in the background was just like, psh, you know, just like these industrial noises. We couldn't listen to our headphones anymore because they said, oh, well, that's you won't be able to hear an alarm or something.
Right.
Like, all this shit. So I'm already mad. Yeah. And then I have to come home to this woman that never seems to have like any money, even though she's working.
Yeah.
Her son, that's like, he was, I think, 11 years old at the time, and he was as big as I was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, no, I'm serious. He was that big.
Yeah.
But his voice hadn't even changed, and he would whine and go, and then, okay. So you hear that shit, and I come home, and one day, and I hear Natalie, well, I'm not going to say her name, but she says, your dog tried to bite him. I'll make up a name. Your dog tried to bite Sam.
Okay.
And Sam is the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what did he do? He says, well, nothing. He was just there like, walking by, and he tried to bite him.
Now, how long had you had this dog?
I had the dog maybe 6 months. Wasn't that long.
Okay.
Between 4 and 6 months, because my uncle had brought the dog because he says, I know you like pit bulls. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll bring you a pit bull. So I looked at the dog, and it was, it didn't even look like a good dog. It didn't even look like a good, it was all skinny and stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't have the pit bull physique, wasn't in proper proportions. So I guess this is where, like, I give you the other side of the story. Because the dog didn't have the proper proportions and stuff like that, I had him on a constant diet of raw kidney and androstatin.
Okay.
Did you say raw what?
Raw kidneys
Raw
and
kidneys?
androstatin. Okay. So, perhaps he was a bit more aggressive than he should have been.
Okay, so your dog was kind of crazy.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Pinky dog and stuff.
You feed a dog hormones, and you figure that he's gonna
lose his shit.
Yeah. But no. I mean, it wouldn't matter because I was mad at him already because he chewed up my cha-cha shoes. And I remember those cha-cha shoes with the flames on the side, had the G-spot in the bottom that you could hide your shit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like a pair of those. Woo, yeah, white with black flames, cool. I just want to buy a pair now. But
anyway. And your dog ate them.
Yeah.
Did you wait for him to shit them out and put it back together, like Frankenstein your shoes back together?
Sounds like something Cheech and Chong would have done with weed, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Though.
Anyway, so come on, she does the whole thing. Oh, you're not trying to blah blah blah. You got to get rid of them. Okay, so I have this thing in my head, in which I was like thinking, well, if I take them to the shelter, they're gonna like start asking me all these questions and stuff, and that's like a long trip, and I don't want to bother with it, and maybe I can get her to shut up if I do something dramatic.
Oh,
like kill your dog.
Yeah. What she said.
Wow.
She said, you get rid of them. So much like in Richard Wright's book Black Boy, where his father is sleeping and his cat's yowling, and he said, get rid of that cat. What do I do? Kill it. I don't care. And so he killed it, and the father got mad. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I was living over off of Cameron Road, which in Austin is, back then it was predominantly Mexican neighborhood.
Yeah, it was barrio back then.
Yeah. And so I had like a pretty decent apartment. It was 2 bedrooms. And in the back, there was like a sliding glass door, and there was like a little yard for me that was now just overgrown and covered in dog shit, But I take the dog out in the back, and I had like a Beretta. I had a Beretta with like a laser sight and everything on it, So take the dog out in the back.
He terminated the dog.
The dog sits out there in the back, and I wait for my wife to go look out the door, and like I put that laser right in the center of his forehead, and then blap, and I shot the dog, and the dog like went. You could see like the eyes just like it was like almost like a cartoon where they like went and it blanked out, and then it fell over like a tree, and then I like went back inside and I like put the gun down and said, "There, no more dog. Don't worry about it."
Holy shit! Well, wait a minute. Hold.
That's not even the best part.
I don't even know what the good part is. The best part. I think you just told me the worst part.
Best implies there was something good.
Yeah, best can only you can only get to the best part because this is fucking. When you said I got to give a disclaimer here before we continue. When Al Frank was going to tell when he said he was going to tell the story of the dead dog, I thought this was accidental. I didn't know that you actually went out and assassinated your dog.
No, I knew he did because I looked in his cartoon omnibus.
Yeah, see,
and he showed me to read the cartoon, but
Corey don't read my shit.
But even the cartoon made it seem more like she was yelling at you to put the dog down, and you were crying while you did it.
No, I wasn't crying.
This is a completely different act.
No. Let me tell you.
Wow, you have so many people who hate you right now.
Wow.
Let me refresh your memory.
Okay.
They're going to really hate me after this.
Boy.
They'll never have to ask for me to
Maybe
come
this
back.
wasn't a good idea.
Okay. Now, so I'm like, okay, about 10 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, well, I'm going to like take this dog. I'm going to like get rid of it, put it in the dumpster, whatever. So I go outside and I like go over to the dog and it's laying on the ground and it's going.
Oh fuck, man! Come on.
And so
you know what? The one thing I was gonna say is I was trying to make something good out of this. I was like, you know what? Had he taken it to a shelter or ASPCA, they probably would have put it down anyway. A dog that's kind of crazy like that, they couldn't give it to another family.
Yeah.
And him shooting in the head was probably like a kind death, a quick death. But no.
yes. And so I was equally as shocked at what had happened as the bullet had gone right between the hemispheres of the brain and down through the throat. So I was sitting there and I was thinking, well, shit, I can't shoot him again because, 2 gunshots in this neighborhood, in broad daylight is going to be something. So I like go back inside and I get a butcher's knife.
Oh, God damn it, man.
Okay, do we really want to continue with this?
But by the time I got outside, he was dead.
Oh,
so,
well, thank God.
Jesus.
But keep in mind, back in those days, I was like heavily medicated and drunk like too.
Oh.
So I was like, I was come home and drink myself a 40, and then like I would
shoot animals.
Take my many antipsychotics, and then I would like yeah, exactly. So
Man,
I told you that wasn't a pretty story.
No. I think Michael Vick would hit his story and go like, come on, brother, that's wrong.
I thought that it was going to be quick, just like bap over like that. But here's even the better part. Okay, so I got this.
Why do I feel like it's not going to be the better part?
I got this. Like those big wooden cases that they have you put instrument equipment in. With the latches on the side.
Sure, like a trunk.
Okay. I stole one of those from work because we had they'd been sitting there forever, and I stole one, brought it home, and I said, well, this would be perfect, to like put the dog in.
Okay.
So I could put it in the dumpster so that nobody, will like, because you don't want like a dead dog in the dumpster, So I do this, and I put him in the dumpster, and I think it's the next day I like go out to the dumpster to throw something out, and I realized somebody had like opened the thing so that they could see if like, is anything in here? They'd open it, and now it's all like dog's all swollen up and like full of like gases and stuff, and it's stinking. And so I tried to close it, but it wouldn't close. Reminded me of my days as a dog catcher. Yeah, it really did.
You were a dog catcher, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Dan, did you? Did they ever see the dogs again when you caught them? I mean, shit.
We put out a lot of dogs. We did. It's like 2,000 pounds a day.
I was expecting something ironic here, but it's just a story about a guy who fucking shot his dog.
There's no irony. It's just like there's always there's negatives and there's positives in life. People make good decisions. People make bad decisions. I guess my decisions. I'm a weak person at some point.
Boy, Leon, that was a cool party last night. Man, did I mention that?
Fun. My hangover feels like fun compared to that story.
Come on, fellas. Come on, man.
Okay. Wow, man.
You know what I'm going to do here?
What?
This is what I'm going to do.
Tell me.
I am going to actually cut this story out, and I'm going to put it up separately so that people can actually listen to it if they want to. If they want to, because I'm telling people now, this is this is kind of disturbing, man. I don't know how to go about it.
As a matter of fact, I know we have a listener in particular who could not ever hear this.
Oh,
story.
I know who it is.
I told
Ghost
you.
Rider.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider. And Ghost Rider even like the Frankie Weenie video we did because we were being abusive to a cartoon dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So imagine how she'd feel about this
Yeah.
shit. She.
I feel like her right now.
Yeah, Al.
Hey, keep in mind that I was like I thought it was gonna be like that.
Sure.
You know, because that basically in Texas, you bang, you shoot it, it's done. You don't like think
Yeah.
about like what ifs.
Okay. Here,
Well, were there some other stories that you had? That we
I
didn't
was
get
just
to
about
last
to
time?
ask you, so that we can keep this podcast somewhat intact right here. Because I am cutting this dog part out and letting people. No, I'm cutting it out. I'm going to put it up.
It's going to be up. Don't worry.
It's going to be up, but it's going to be a section that people listen to. I mean, it is really one of
Pervert
those.
do you have a pervert section that you could like ask me a question then?
No, here's the deal. That story you told is almost like a Faces of Death type
Yeah.
thing, and people need to have very extra precaution when
Really?
they go into listening to this story.
Really?
Yeah, because this is a really disturbing story.
You
It was
people are like so I don't
Bourgeois,
know.
if you want to use that word, that's fine.
No, not bourgeois. It just seems like that's not like a particularly disturbing story to me. Oh, actually, here's one that says
says the guy with the leather mask right now.
here's a story that okay, and it has nothing.
That story's fucked up, Al. That's what I mean. Let me just go ahead and cut to the chase here. That's a fucked up story.
Let me give you the precursor.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, I had this dog named Duchess, which is a Doberman. And I don't know if people know about Dobermans. It's like when they get older, they, sometimes the brain outgrows the skull or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, something happens with the head and they get kind of wacky,
Okay.
But I remember that the dog is like my responsibility pretty much, in the winter times in Chicago where the snow drifts would be like, 3 or 4 feet and you'd be trying to like get over the fence to walk the dog in the back and the dog would break loose and run across the streets, busy streets, and you hear cars honking and it would run back and you'd be trying to grab it.
Yeah.
Well, this dog is now my responsibility. I was like 14 or something like that. Now, y'all remember my father. I've told you about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cop.
Yeah.
The crooked cop.
Well, he wasn't crooked at all. No.
Okay.
no.
He was just abusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
So-
abused his power.
So the dog, after so many years, lost its, it would shit in the house and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it became my job to clean up after the dog. And so I was like, I remember one day, I said, why don't you just get rid of it? This is, why do I have to clean this up? And so my father says, oh yeah, he runs upstairs because we're in the basement. He goes upstairs. He like comes back down with his service revolver, his .38. He hands it to me. Why don't you just shoot the goddamn dog then? And then he walks back upstairs.
Jesus.
And I'm like, again, this is like almost a mirror image because I'm sitting there going, all right, asshole, think I ain't got it in me. And so like I thinking, well, he'd probably expect me to clean up blood and brains if I were to do this. So what do? So I get a paper bag and I put it over the dog's head. And just as I'm about to shoot, he comes downstairs and he sees me and says, give me that. The fuck's wrong with you? And then he goes back upstairs. And I'm like, well, you fucking...
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Al, you are a fucked up individual, man.
My father told me to think
you are.
You know what? It's amazing what you just did there. Like, you just told like the most unsympathetic story possible and then followed up with a story that was totally sympathetic. That like, wow, that really explains what you did before in the saddest way possible. I mean, it went from going like, man, this guy, but then it's go like, oh, well, now you back the story up. It's like Lost. You're like, man, fuck that guy. And then they show his backstory. You go like, oh, well, he never had a chance. No wonder.
I don't know if it's like all that. I mean,
it is like that.
It's like that, Al.
It's
for your father to do something like that.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what this is?
That explains the first part.
I guess I was about 44 years old before somebody said, man, that's fucked up. You were abused. And I was like, really? Because I never really thought about it before.
I mean, that is the way it is for kids when they're abused. They, if you have to live in that house, any human being, any situation that's abnormal, if they live in it long enough, they make it normal in their heads. It's not until way later they might get some perspective. Somebody to come in and go like, "No, that's wrong. That should not have happened. It's not your fault." And that's
Okay.
messed
Well,
you up.
now, hey, live and learn. No one's half the battle.
No, that what you just told us right there.
Yeah.
It's like we watched a movie.
Yeah.
About where in the movie we watched a movie about a killer, and everybody hates this killer, and then the sequel comes up, and it's a prequel.
Yeah.
and then we get some insight why this killer is like he is.
Oh God, didn't you love in Halloween when there was like the new Halloween when there was the little like Michael Myers? He was so cute, man. You were like going, God damn it, I get it.
Yeah, but Michael Myers.
I didn't that movie. Whatever.
No, we man. We now know why the killer does what he does. He was abused when he was growing up. I mean, you're like those stories where we see on TV where CSI or something where they capture the killer and then they say, well, why is this guy so heinous? And then they go into his background and then they say, well, as a child he was sexually abused by this person and that person, and you're thinking, okay, this person is still kind of an asshole, but I kind of understand now. and in all honesty, it makes you a little more scary, man.
It's one of those where like
I can't get a date.
I'm surprised you haven't done. I mean, I guess I commend you on not acting out more or being an evil son of a bitch.
I don't think that I've ever acted out. I think that things could have been a lot worse. You know, as Ice-T said that you grow up in a violent environment, you either become a very violent person, or you become a very gentle person. And I think that I'm on the most part of pretty gentle.
That's how I think of you too. I mean, for all these trappings, you're actually a very sweet guy.
Yeah, no, you are. So I guess I should ask you today, being the person that you are.
Yeah.
Would you do the same thing? Would you take the dog out and shoot it, or would you think there's a better solution to this?
Well, today I wouldn't have been. First of all, I wouldn't have been in that situation.
Right.
Second of all, I wouldn't have had a dog. Third of all, I wouldn't have been drunk all the time. And
Well, he doesn't drink anymore.
No, that's true.
It's just like there were so many. At this point in my life, I think that I have like a really good hold on just life and what I am and everything. Whereas before I was always trying to look outside of myself to find happiness, with somebody else or with a dog or with something like that.
Sure.
And that happiness would never come, So it's like I kept compiling extra responsibilities and emotions and like shit on top of myself.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even handle my own shit.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So
it just sounds like a completely medicated, confused time. But
Yeah, it
you seem
was.
like you got you got it together for the most part now.
Remember, I was driving that. I don't know if you had saw me at that time. I was driving that flat black Formula Firebird, like a 1977 Formula Firebird, and
No.
people were like, thought I was like making bathtub crank in the back of it, and and
oh, I never knew
was
that
like,
period of your life.
it was like 20 pounds heavier than I am now because just drinking and just when you're in a situation like I was with the wife at the time and I didn't have like the balls to tell her that I'm done with this, I don't
Right.
want to do it, you just start eating it, and you're eating it and
Right.
you're eating it, and then I'm like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do with life? Oh, I'm gonna start drinking, I'm gonna I'm gonna just be drunk all the time, I'm gonna eat a pizza, I'm gonna go to CC's and get me an extra large and eat that motherfucker today.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, so